Are you tired of that hustle, grind, doer, gotta keep going energy and way of being? So many people are tired of that constant, just relentless pursuit for goals and achievement, or should I say, really, what feels like the wrong goals and the wrong sense of achievement. We've seen many indicators of this in the last couple years. We've seen the Great Resignation, and it continues. It's not done. We see quiet quitting. Whatever labels we give to all of this, we can see there is a shift happening in our workforce, and you might be feeling that right now. So in this video today, I want to unpack what's going on sort of at a broader level. Like, why are we here? Why is this going on? There are many different ways to look at this, so this is by no means the entirety of it. But what I have discovered is that in working with clients, I end up talking about this with about 90% of my clients, maybe even more than 90%, but for sure 90%, which means it's very relevant. It's something that people are thinking about it. And when people are thinking about it, they don't necessarily know or not aware yet of what's really going on. So I want to introduce some language around this and also to discuss really what we can do to help shift things so we do feel better. We're not in that, hustle and that feeling, that competitive kind of feeling, and working in environments that are very controlling. So what I'm talking about really is masculine and feminine energy. Now, this is not a man or a woman. This is masculine and feminine energies. Every single human on this earth, doesn't matter how you identify, if you're a man or a woman or whatever, however else you want to identify yourself, it doesn't matter what you are. If you are human on this earth, you have both masculine and feminine energies, okay? What we have seen on this earth in the last, I don't know how many years, certainly the last, few hundred years, is we are more dominant in masculine energy. As a collective, our society is, and also within many of us, we have become more dominant in our masculine energy. And so just keep in mind, this is about energy. This is not about being a man or being a woman. It's really truly about some of the energies and how we function in this world. So what do I mean by this? Okay. Masculine energy is the doer. It's the yang. It is the achiever. It's the goal-oriented. It's discipline. It's logic. It's linear. It makes sense. There's strategy. There's practicality about it. It's go. It's continuing to go. It's just, it's being tenacious. It's really just being direct. It can be very assertive. So if you look at our corporate world, that's what we've seen a lot of in the last number of years, which is why so many people are tired, because it's this constant, almost kind of a push just to keep achieving, to keep going, to keep moving forward. The problem is, what's been happening is it's out of balance with our feminine energy. Ideally, each of us should be fairly balanced in our masculine and our feminine energy. So what is our feminine energy? That is more our receptive. That is using our emotions as indicators, just as signs, using our intuition, being collaborative. It's more about being authentic. It's about being in the flow. It's about stillness. It's about surrender. It's about, I've got some words written down here just to trick, just to help me remember. It's about being magnetic. It is being about in service. It's about being generous. And so what's been happening, a lot of the corporate world and a lot of our world overall, is we are too dominant in the masculine energy. Masculine energy, when it's in its extreme, when it's really way out of balance, is when we get really competitive. We get really controlling. It goes from being assertive to being aggressive, to being dominant. And that's what we're seeing a lot of in this world. A lot of that really control, where that more feminine side's not being considered. Like, who are we as people, and what do we really want? And, take our foot off the gas for a little bit. Maybe just take a step back and breathe. We look at the last couple of years, that's what a lot of us have had the chance to do, is take our foot off the gas, to tap more into that feminine energy. And what we've realized is, oh my gosh, this actually feels good. We actually like it. We want more of that authenticity. We want to be more in flow, not so we're just using this grit, because masculine energy, again, when it's too dominant, it's that grit, it's that push. It's like not looking up from what you're doing. It's just pedal to the metal, full throttle forward. And it can be very effective in getting things done, but it's not taking into consideration more of the human element. So ideally, what we want to be doing, each and every one of us, is starting to balance out the masculine and the feminine energies within ourselves. But what you will find is each and every one of us is dominant in one area more than the other. And if you are listening to my videos a lot, I tend to work with fairly ambitious, career-oriented professionals, go-getters. They tend to be more male energy dominated. And what happens is when things don't go right, when things aren't, we're not seeing the level of success we think we should achieve, what we tend to do is we tend to go further and deeper into our male energy. So we do more. So the more stressed we are, the more we feel we need to do this. So if you're looking for a job and you can't find one, what this can look like is you double down on the number of resumes you put out. Like, you just go full throttle. You're like, you know what? I'm doing 5 a day. I'm going to do 15 a day. And you just go crazy, and you just, you double down. Where really what might be needed is actually to take a step back, ask yourself, am I in alignment with what I'm doing? Am I applying on jobs that I really want? And maybe it's taking a break, going for a walk in nature, and just recentering and rebalancing, and then coming back from a more holistic kind of feeling within yourself. But if you are very, male energy dominated, you might not even see that. You might just keep on going and going and going. And so the trick to this is understanding where you lean more towards and then starting to balance that out. And it can feel uncomfortable at first. I'm not going to lie, right? If you're someone who's used to being a doer, for someone to say to you, I think you need to be still for a little bit and stop doing so much, that can be really triggering. It really can. It can feel very uncomfortable. So just know that these are patterns we've all created, and it's been built over time. So we can't expect ourselves to switch patterns really, really quickly. Now, if you are more dominant in feminine energy and you are more extreme there, that can really work against us as well. If you are too much that way, you could be really in victim consciousness. You could feel quite powerless. You could be overly emotional. A healthy feminine energy is one where we use our emotions as indicators. So if we're feeling upset about something, it's just telling us we're out of alignment. That's all it really means. Whereas if you are too steeped in feminine energy, and what we might call the wounded feminine, is we get really emotional and we let our emotions run our life, and we kind of feel out of control in that kind of situation. So if that's you, what could really help is pulling more of that masculine energy of structure and discipline, taking action, doing things, and not just feeling helpless and just, sometimes overly dominant feminine energy can be very manipulative. And we've all seen that, right? We've all seen all these characteristics in the world, and maybe even within ourselves. But it's recognizing which one of us, which part of us is the strongest, and then starting to balancing that out. Also understanding that there are different areas of our life where we may be more dominant on one side. So in your relationships, you might be more feminine energy, and at work, you might go really, really strong on your masculine. So it's not like it's this one size fits all and it just applies to everything in life. It's becoming aware. It's becoming aware of your patterns. It's becoming aware of where you might be sabotaging yourself because you're going too heavy in one direction. And reminding yourself, always have grace with yourself. This is never about judgment. When I look at the world, and I've been observing this for years I've been observing this because I really started looking into this into myself a number of years ago, realizing how strong the masculine energy is. So the world's not balanced. So, the world is just a reflection of all of us. So what it's saying is all of us are not in balance. So perfection is also not the goal, but it's just an awareness and moving more towards that place. You can challenge yourself a little bit, and just understand the more stressed you are, the more you are going to revert to your natural tendencies, one side or the other. So I hope this video has helped. I would love to hear your comments. This is the first time I've tackled this conversation in a video. It took me a little bit to kind of figure out how to explain this in, this is 11 minutes, to try and keep it down to a concise amount of time. But I think it's really important, like I said at the beginning, to start putting words around what many of you I know are feeling, because you're telling me this. And it's really a desire to get more in balance and feel more balanced within yourself. So I'd love to hear any comments. If this video was helpful, please share with anybody who you think might benefit from it. Subscribe, it certainly helps the algorithm. Also, if you've got any questions, please put them down below. I do check the comments. And also, if you want more content like this, I will put the link to my website down below, which is where you can subscribe to my emails. So take care, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.